Dave Grohl, talk about it. That's unpredictable. That made me say,
Nobody knows.
Covino and Rich on Fox Sports Radio. I'm Steve Covino. That's Rich Davis. The point is, Iowa Sam's playing Queens of the Stone Age. No one knows because no one knows Jack Diddley Do. I do. He was in my homeroom in high school. Jack Diddley Do.
That joke never gets old. Covino?
I knew him.
Covino?
Here.
Diddley Do?
Present. He always said present.
Never gets old.
But no one knows Jack Diddley Do. Jack Diddley Squat. No one knows nothing.
I do this at the gym every
No one knows anything about the NFL.
Well,
you think you do, but man.
Now, Danny G.
Some surprises this weekend.
As we go to the phone calls, things that made you go, This week, a little twist on it. What confuses you the most as we point out no one knows a damn thing? I thought of you with the Raiders because everyone laughed at it. You had a hot take of, hey, my Raiders defense, look out. Don't be so sure. And then that great speech from Crosby to Minshew. They hung in there. Fourth quarter, took over. It was pretty sweet to watch if you're a Raiders fan like Danny G. How do you feel now about week 3 playing the weak-ass Panthers? Would you have wanted Bryce Young? Do you think they could get a jolt from Andy Dalton, or are you just laughing at that?
The same way that Beyer pointed out that the Ravens can play down to their competition, the Raiders have been known to do the same thing. There's games in the past where the Raiders were big underdogs and they pull out the W just like they did on Sunday.
Yeah,
and then there's games where they're
leadership now.
favored. Whenever the Raiders are favored, though, I'm a little worried because they can get kind of lazy in those games.
5.5-point favorites in Vegas hosting the Panthers with, if you may not have heard earlier today, they announced Bryce Young out. Going to be benched for Andy Dalton. And you got to ask yourself, do you rather face Bryce Young struggling in this team who can't do a damn thing, or is Andy Dalton even a step worse?
Well, Rich, that O-line looked terrible.
Oh.
Terrible. So I don't know if Dalton's going to have much more success.
We're live from the TireRack.com studio, and the show sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer, all its offerings throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours, and now it's time for things that make you go,
Let's go, baby!
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go,
And we start in South Carolina with Patrick. What's going on, man? Covino and Rich.
What's going on, guys? Y'all doing good?
We're doing great, man. Had a great weekend in Vegas. Lost a lot of money, but had a good time.
That sounds good.
You know what I
man?
wanted to do, Patrick? I wanted to do, Spot, you're a big Seinfeld fan. Wasn't it there the episode where George did everything opposite?
Yeah, and succeeded. It changed his entire life. That's how he got the job at the Yankees.
I almost felt like I should have done that at the sports book.
Yeah.
Georgia will cover. Maybe they won't. Let me do that. Oh, the 49ers, Cowboys, Lions. Oh, I'm terrible. What made you go, Patrick?
Few things. And hopefully it's relevant. One is just really disgusting. I know it's not football, but the Braves giving up 7 runs in the bottom of the ninth last night was just...
Dude, as a Mets fan, I love that. Go Dodgers.
I bet so. Got you guys in Atlanta in a couple weeks. That should be good.
It'll be fun.
Kyler Murray, 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, guys. Was that expected, or was it a surprise?
Dude, he looked electric. Boogie, oogie, oogie.
And the crazy part, Covino, is earlier in the week, remember we mentioned briefly that it was like, ooh, already a little dissension? Because remember Kyler Murray said, it's not my job to get Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I checked the box score. First quarter, he had 100 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Insane start to the game.
Yeah.
They beat the Rams 41-10. Murray, 266 yards, 3 tutties. Just a crazy game. Harrison had four receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. They just played big.
Maybe they're one of those teams that are a little better than we thought. Remember, they played the Bills. They played the Bills really tough week 1. In fact, you could say they let that game slip away. And a really great matchup. They're home in Arizona week 3, welcoming the Detroit Lions. So you'll see where those teams are at. So the NFL continues to just deliver because I'm already excited about week 3. Chris in Ohio. What's up, Chris?
Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm glad you had fun in Vegas.
Thanks, man. What made you go,
Well, I wanted to kind of bring back what you were saying about the Chiefs fatigue. We think people are getting. I've had it for a while myself.
Yeah.
I think Mahomes did show us what he's like when things go bad. It only happened once, but last season, if you remember, I forgot what game it was when he complained about the refs immediately after the game, and they were all crying about the referees, and then they apologized the next day.
Yeah, Mahomes, you see the memes like we all do, right? Where it's like the best player of the Chiefs, and it's always like the referee with a Chiefs jersey on or something.
No, they did a jersey swap.
Yeah, they did a jersey.
Mahomes and the refs. Yeah.
We've all seen the memes because
great.
everyone feels that way, Chris. You're right. Everyone feels like the Chiefs always get the call.
They're starting to slowly – again, Danny G's already ahead of the game, and some people are already ahead of the game. I'm starting to catch up to see now that they're turning into the villain for sure.
Yeah, everyone's got Chiefs fatigue. What's up, Brandon in Florida?
Hey, guys. First off, a big Cardinal fan. We just got swept by the Blue Jays. So that's probably gone. But, Rich, I'm the Saints fan, man. You had me dying yesterday whenever we scored on every single play. It was great. It was
listen,
great.
Every single possession. How insane is
dude,
that?
I was pumped for you, man. Listen, I'm not above being wrong. We do a fun radio show. I'm not an expert. No one is. That's the whole point. So it's fun to look back and think we were all so wrong.
It's still only 2 weeks in, right? People make adjustments. But
Yeah.
right now, Carr and Mayfield are your 2 MVP candidates.
But let me tell you, though, the Cowboys are no slouch. Like, if the Saints had when they beat Carolina, you got it. But when they put a whooping on Dallas like that, I was like, what?
Now,
What's going on?
A lot of people still on hold. Again, this is things that made you go, but what confused you the most, okay? What confused you the most? 877-99 on Fox. We do this every Monday. I'm going to take it off of football just for a second because we're going to come back.
Yeah.
We were in Vegas over the weekend for the Canelo fight. Of course, it was UFC 306. Danny Garcia gets out there trying to bring greatness and be great and win 3 division titles. And he fights Lara at 160 for the middleweight title, the WBA belt. He gets jabbed in the head twice and calls it quits. That made me say, that confused the hell out of me.
It was embarrassing.
What happened to Danny Swift Garcia? I was a Swiftie, but a Dan Swift Garcia Swiftie. I can't believe that dude took a knee like that. And I know he was chasing greatness like he said over and over, but that confused the hell out of me.
From the second round on, the crowd was making bird sound effects and booing.
Dude, the Mexican fans at the T-Mobile Arena were so bored. It did sound like
a sanctuary.
It sounded like a bird sanctuary. It was just a whistle competition. So that did confuse me. You get on this big stage and you don't even bring it. That confused me.
One last one for now, and then we'll go to Dan for an update. Josh in Cincinnati. Josh, we were pulling for your Bengals yesterday, man. That was a bummer.
Yeah, so I'm actually not a Bengals fan here in Cincinnati. I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. My dad played football back in Pee Wee with Chris Carter here in Middletown.
Nice.
So I was actually watching the Vikings 49ers game. The thing that made me say, was I was watching the highlights of the game afterwards. On the 97-yard touchdown pass to Jefferson, did you see the back official, how fast he was running after, he was moving to get out of the way of Jefferson?
Yeah, people were joking he was faster than the 49ers secondary.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. That official is like...
that whole play was unbelievable. Really nice play.
All right, well, Dan Byer... He's got an update and maybe some things that made him go, what's up, DB?
Guys, we'll get right to it. Just because the caller brought up baseball, at least some good news for you. Francisco Lindor's MRI came back clean on his back. Says today, maybe back in 2 to 5 days. They start a series with the Nats tonight. Best case scenario would be maybe he joins them on Wednesday, but not a serious injury for Francisco Lindor.
Thank goodness.
Completely different situation with the Rams. We had the breaking news that Cooper Kupp likely headed for IR with a significant ankle injury where he will miss multiple games. Rams also lost safety John Johnson III and guard Jonah Jackson in their loss to the Cardinals. Both of those players could also be candidates for injured reserve, according to head coach Sean McVay. You talked about it, Panthers benching Bryce Young. Andy Dalton's going to get the start in week 3.
Ultimately, just kind of lands on my shoulders to be able to make the best decision for our group to give us our best chance to win this week. And we focus on the weeks. We focus on the challenge at hand, and we feel like Andy gives us our best chance.
That's Panthers head coach Dave Canales. The Chiefs will be without running back Isaiah Pacheco for maybe 2 months because of a fracture in his fibula that requires surgery. There is hope Pacheco will return later on in the season. NFL Network says the Chiefs are bringing in former Chiefs running back at one time Kareem Hunt for a visit. Some college football notes. Wisconsin quarterback Tyler Van Dyke done for the season with a knee injury. That's according to the Wisconsin State Journal. Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian says quarterback Quinn Ewers questionable to face Louisiana Monroe coming up this Saturday. Michigan making a quarterback change. They benched quarterback Davis Warren in favor of Alex Orji for Saturday's game against number 11 USC. Guys, back to you.
I think people are okay with that, Dan. No one likes injuries, but people want more Arch Manning.
Yes, they do.
People want more. That was exciting, man.
He's got speed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really, really like Quinn Ewers. I'm a huge fan, so I hope it doesn't overshadow. But, 4 touchdowns and that speed you talked about.
Yeah, last time I saw that was Al Bundy in Polk High School.
4 touchdowns.
In one game, man. One game. Remember that?
All right, well, listen, we have more Covino Rich next. Things that made you go, and, of course, we'll do Last One Standing and take all your feedback right here on Fox Sports Radio. Now, you put it off long enough, it might be time to replace your tires.
Tire Rack has tires that will elevate your drive. Touring tires for commuter comfort, performance tires for sporty handling, all-terrain tires for on- and off-road adventures. Go to TireRack.com. Get started.
Not sure where to begin? Well, try the Tire Decision Guide. They'll give you a personalized recommendation, the right tires for how, what, and where you drive. Choose from the full line of Goodrich, BF Goodrich tires. Ship fast and free to a recommended installer near you, or choose the convenience of mobile tire installation. That's where they bring the tires to you at home or work, install them on site. Doesn't get much easier than that. Go to TireRack.com/sports, see their BF Goodrich test results, tire ratings, reviews, and be sure to check out their current special offers.
Great tires and a great deal. What more could you ask for? TireRack.com/sports. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.